On the rise, on the decline. We're going to talk about a lot of players tonight, and most of them will be positives. Most of them will be players either already on the moon, maybe now going to Mars. Maybe they were teeter-tottering on maybe going to the moon, and now they're going to the moon. And a very, very large shakeup on the Moon Man and Mars Man list. I'm about to break down the new additions and all the changes going on. We're talking about these two gentlemen here. Two players we've been talking the last handful of weeks and really month. And Patrick Mahomes, the best pick in all of fantasy football 2024. This offense is going to go on a tear. Absolute tear. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition, Rise and Decline Edition, reaction from the preseason edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
You're watching a graveyard stream.
We're here to discuss a shakeup, if you will, on the Mars Man, Moon Man list. Saturn Man list hasn't been touched. Those are ballers. Those are straight cemented in, locked in fantasy football shot callers. We're talking about the Mars Men. Very, very small change on the Mars Men list, but the Moon Men is the volatile list. The Moon Men is essentially, when people say, Smitty, you got too many people on these boards. You got the Saturn Man, the Mars Man, the Moon Man. There's rhyme and reason to it. The Saturn Men are big name players, okay? But who do we trust of the big name players? You want me to do one video a week? Is that what we want? Do we want me to talk about 3 players? Because when someone comes in and complains, a complaining Caleb or a overreacting Oscar or a ridiculous Richard, and they come in and they say, Smitty, you got too many players that you're talking about on these lists. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to come in and talk about 3 or 4 players all off season long? I've constructed a list that's very logical. Saturn Men, big name players. No one's predicting that they're not going to do well this year, but they're special and they've got value that people don't see. Mars Men are very similar to that. They're big name players. No one is unaware of their rise, but we see them being more locks than other people. And then there's the Moon Men that's comprised of some of that, but a lot of also kind of out of nowhere, kind of out of pocket, kind of almost ridiculous stuff. And that's the nature of the Moon Man list. And that's why some people, they'll draft all Moon Men, they'll draft just the wrong ones and then come for me and say, Smitty, I can't believe you ruined my fantasy season. We're going to talk about this man in a second, but first because Kupp is, let's just do it now.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Look at him.
Mars Man.
Look, guys, I've been watching a lot of Kupp practice footage. I've been watching a lot on him, reading a lot on him, just digging as deep as I can on how he's doing. He looks phenomenal right now. And Puka Nacua is banged up. Not saying he's going to be hampered all year or anything. I'm not getting wild, but Kupp might just have a top 5 wide receiver season left. I understand he was injured last year, and kind of like Eckler, injured ankle, hampered all year. How much do we judge him? Kupp is out there doing what Eckler's not right now. Eckler's not proving himself and earning his way back into our fantasy football heart. We're hopeful that he's practically free, but Eckler is a running back, and running backs drop off almost a certainty at a certain age, unless you're Derrick Henry or a running back like Mostert, who didn't get a workload their entire career, so they can be a little bit fresher at 30 years old and such. But we're sitting here looking at Kupp about to become, I believe, a top 5 wide receiver for one more season, and he's in the 3rd round. He's in the 3rd round. I just drafted him in the 3rd round in a buddy league, in a home league. And I know that you can as well. I know that in Best Ball Mania on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, please hit the link. Maybe we'll draft later tonight. I'm not sure if we'll have time. Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot. I'm not sure if we'll have time, but hit the link now and sign up. And I'm going to pin the link right now. This will get you 50% matching your first deposit and a special bonus pick in your account. But we'll be drafting here hopefully tonight. And I know he's going around 2, but that's best ball. That's one part of your world. Some of you don't even play best ball. Some of you can't because of your state or whatever. So I attack things differently than everybody else. You know what other people do? You know what the content creating Caleb does? He just talks about one thing. I have to, because it's my obligation, talk about both things. Best ball, non-best ball, and even dynasty. Really, 3 different avenues. We got 3 super chats. Yes, this is live, and I appreciate these 3 super chat wads coming in strong. Eric Gray says Riley, who dropped a super chat the other night on the way out the door, and I did take care of him. Eric Gray, interesting player to monitor for sure. And Matt J says Moonman hype got 2, Smitty. You don't know who the Moonmen are because I've switched things up. It might make you mad, Matt. You might be a mad Matt in a little bit. And let me also address that. When I changed the Moonman list, how dare you? How dare any of you call me out and say, Smitty, you should have stuck to your guns. Why you changing the Moonman list? USOB, Smitty. How dare any of you stand in the way of this channel trying to produce the best adjust and adapt greatness that we can produce? We're going to bob and weave. We're going to watch someone like Jalen Warren suffer a hamstring injury and have to be removed from the Moonman list. But I put him on the midseason monster list because the hamstring injury probably will have him, I would think, getting unleashed a little later on in the year. Even if he's ready for week 1, that certainly stands in his way of being the prepared player to take first and second down snaps. So we're going to put Warren on the midseason monster list, which opened up the door for another Moonman. And I got creative. But first, let me hit these. 14-team PPR keeper. Do I take JD5 round 8 plus Purdy round 13 or Mahomes Lamar at 2.7? Same league, go MHJ or Saquon. Look, Mahomes is the best pick in all of fantasy football 2024, period. But I would say at the same time, broski, at the very, very same time, I would say that you're also in a position where, 2.7 is different. That's a little high if it's a 1 QB. So if it's me, I'm trying to get a Kyron, an Achane, or a Gibbs in round 2. Round 2 is too high for me. So I do like the idea of going JD5 and maybe even Kyler AR5 later and not using a second round pick on a quarterback. Or take your chances that Hurts falls to late round 3 in this early drafting quarterback league that you're in. But I would not spend high draft capital at a 1 QB league. And high draft capital to me is second round, not third round. Second round, when you can get Achanes and Kyrons and still deliver an amazing top 5 quarterback potential. Jordan Love later. Jordan Love and JD5. I love Jordan Love later. If I'm you, I'm taking Achane or Kyron and Jordan Love later, JD5 later. Mahomes, running back, Saquon, Monty, Pollard, Benson, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Keon, Worthy, Dobbs. No tight end thoughts. Love the team. Saquon, Monty could be crafty. And this is not an anti-Jahmyr Gibbs take. This is not me feeding into any of the BS about Jahmyr Gibbs being a risk. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 12 lock to me. Absolute lock. I only draft him later if I think I can get away with it. Take candy from babies. And be like, I'll just go ahead and wait. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're not going to take him, are you? Let him slide to me at 14 overall. Then I can use, my other pick on maybe Breece Hall falls. Maybe I get a St. Brown, whatever. But I'm absolutely taking Gibbs. But all that said, Monty's still very sneaky for a 10-touchdown season without impacting anything. Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson, you might have 2 top 6, 7 wide receivers, one of which is top 5. Love it, Garrett. Give me an 8 out of 10 on that bad boy. Garrett to the mother freaking moon. All right, rock out. Appreciate your $5 holler. My worst team, QB love, JD5, Achane, good team. Hill, DK, Worthy, love Worthy. Let's talk about Worthy right now, as Rock Out just mentions it. Because these two gentlemen, I talked about Cooper Kupp, top 5 potential wide receiver incoming season. On the rise in the ADP ranks, on the rise in the minds of everybody out there because they're hearing little things, but not enough. There aren't people cementing him into home leagues in round 2 yet. Especially in a home league, in a non-best ball league, which we often refer to as a home league, you see so many running backs going around 1 and 2 that you don't see in best ball with this craze of going just wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. There are people that draft 4 or 5 straight wide receivers, and they're told to, so they do it. Hey, somebody won doing it last year, so we have to do it over and over, when we, the astute people, are saying, well, Devonte Smith's fallen kind of far, Ridley's fallen kind of far, Rashee Rice and Worthy are falling pretty far, and Keon Coleman, BT. There's so many rookies injected into this wide receiver pool. I think these people are out of their minds for going wide receiver 4 straight picks in a row and sacrificing the one position, or the 2 positions, really, when you talk about getting a Mahomes, a Hurts, a Josh Allen. But the one position, running back, that really might mean the most out of all positions this year. This year, you might be far better off going Kyron H.M. Barkley, or, insert a handful of other players, Pacheco, than going wide receiver, when you can get Keon Coleman or Worthy or Rice to hang with wide receivers you're taking in the 2 and the late 2nd and the 3rd round, or the 2-3 turn. So Cooper Kupp to the moon, who's going in round 3 or 4 in your buddy leagues. 2 in best ball, but we're loving him at the 2-3 turn. Like, if he's going to be my 3.1, smash. And if we draft tonight, you'll see he'll probably fall right around to the 2-3 turn. Smash. In the middle of round 3, maybe win a league capable. Round 4, you might have to trip and fall on your face with every other pick you make to not have a huge advantage, to be on your way to winning your league with Cooper Kupp in round 4 as your 4th drafted player. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. These guys are both moon men. You heard me right. Smitty, I can't believe you adjust and adapt. It makes me so frustrated that you were so mad at Rashee Rice all offseason. You want me to... This is the definition of adjusting and adapting. Do I think he gets suspended for half a year at least? Yes. Do I think it's this year? No. And this was always a possibility we kicked around. Your memory's foggy if you think that I said there was no chance that this gets pushed into 2025. There's almost no chance he doesn't get a huge, huge suspension. But that's likely coming in 2025. Things change. The legal process drags on. Attorneys know what they're doing with this stuff. They can file all kinds of things to delay these things into maybe even mid-season next year. Maybe we have no determination walking into August about a suspension, because they can literally delay everything. And if you want somebody that's going to come in and say, well, I said earlier this, so I'm going to stick by it, you don't want to watch anybody that does that. You want to watch a channel like this one. This is the only one you need that's going to say, you know what, Rashee Rice, things are looking better and better for him in 2024, and I'm riding that train straight into the bank where I'm getting my IOU early. I'm writing my team on a napkin and I'm putting it up against the glass, and I'm saying, can I get an advance on this? Look at that team. Look at it. Look at it, Steven. And Steven's going to slide that team underneath to his boss, and they're going to come back with a briefcase and say, here's your advance, son, because that team's phenomenal. Rashee Rice, Worthy. Which one's better? I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm starting to think this is Mr. Consistent. He's gonna ball. With Hollywood Brown's injury, this really shoved Rashee Rice, or should have, up 1.5 to 2 rounds. Hollywood's gonna miss probably week 1, could miss week 2, could be eased back in. And this guy Rice is gonna be absolutely consistent. Worthy is so raw, and he's just getting going. And they're both moon men. Let's start there.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Let's see here. I gotta get this camera shot out of the way. I don't know what in the hell is going on there. All right, let's do that one more time for good measure, because it was all dramatic, and then I hit the damn button.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Look,
Space
Do you notice anything different? We've got some new faces on the board. We've got Devonte Smith. We've got Calvin Ridley, who has been on the Moon Man on and off for the last 2 years, but he was actually on the Moon Man list early on. So we got Ridley on here, Devonte Smith, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, 4 wide receivers. The Moon Man list and Mars Man list, they've been lacking some wide receivers. It's been loaded with running backs and quarterbacks and tight ends, and we haven't had a lot of wide receivers hit the board. But these guys are absolutely going to rip it up in 2024. With the Hopkins injury, this is why we're adjust and adapt season. This is why we stay loose. We stay liquid. We stay liquid in the fantasy business. You listen to what I'm saying. Come in close. We stay loose and liquid when it comes to this stuff. Adjust and adapt season. One more time.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer
What
space.
has changed for these guys? Hollywood Brown got hurt. Worthy Rice, adjust and adapt.
Space Monsters.
Ridley, Hopkins got hurt, adjust and adapt. Now, Hopkins isn't out for the season, but is he going to be back for week 1? I highly doubt it. Is he going to be ramped up slowly? Maybe. Is he too old to stay healthy? Probably. And Rashee Rice is playing on an offense that I normally don't like players on a bad offense, but they're going to be throwing the hell out of the ball in a very vertical attack, very vertical game plan. And this guy's going to rip it up, tear it up, absolutely shred in fantasy and get proper target share this year versus, hey, here's a bunch of go balls. Good luck catching maybe 1 out of 7 of them. And that's where we got production out of Ridley. Ridley was absolutely misused last year. Rashee Rice, again, with the Hollywood Brown injury, both these guys shoot up the board. These guys are league winners, as is Patrick Mahomes, who's a Saturn man, of course, and been there.
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
One of the best values in all of fantasy football. He goes in the 3rd to late 3rd round in non-best ball home leagues. He goes in the 4th.
Spaceman.
Guys, he goes in the 4th round. This isn't as of May 1. This is as of, August, let me adjust this date. August 17, August 18, by the time we get to tomorrow, and this is gonna. I took him at 5.1, or was it 4.12 the other night on a live stream. He's the best value in all of fantasy football 2024 because you can get him, like I said, in a territory where he's absolutely pretty much winning you a league if you know what you're doing at all. So Mahomes, 40, 50 touchdowns this year. Probably 45 passing touchdowns this year and maybe 5 to 6 rushing. He had 0 rushing touchdowns last year, which is an anomaly. He's going to have 4, 5, or 6 on the ground, and he's going to have 40 to 45. I'm going to say 45 touchdowns in 2024. Who do you think's feeding and feasting on those? Rice, Worthy, Hollywood, Kelsey, and there's so much to go around. They're all going to eat. You can't even get this wrong unless he does get his suspension in the middle of the season, which makes Worthy a little bit more intriguing from that angle, but they're both phenomenal, and I grabbed them both over and over and over with Mahomes in best ball. And dare I tell you that we right now have a new video drop. That video drop is this one right here. It is the Xavier Worthy video drop. Probably one of the best pieces of work I've done in the last few weeks. Here we go.
Xavier Worthy, your wide receiver from the combine.
He can't catch.
He has hands. Just fast.
Many say he won't make it at the next level.
Enough. Watch me. I must go back and make it right.
Xavier Worthy.
He can't catch. Just fast. Just fast. Just fast. He won't make it.
Catch this. Great catch. Wow, nice catch. He's not overrated catching the ball.
He can really catch.
It's Chiefs season. Mahomes is scoring 45 plus touchdowns. Let them cook.
Let him cook.
Let them cook. Let all of them cook. Let all of them cook. Not only can I play that on demand, but when we just want to talk about the Chiefs alone, Mahomes scoring, we don't have any Mahomes drops. Why don't we? We now do.
It's Chiefs season. Mahomes is scoring 45 plus touchdowns. Let them cook.
Yeah, so these two are Moon Man extraordinaires, as is this man Ridley, who is now jumped on the board for the second time. He was a Moon Man. We took him off. He's back on.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
You might say, Smitty, why are we putting him back on? I just went over that and explained it.
Space Monsters.
This is the situation he should have been in. There was such a gross misuse of Calvin Ridley last year. It was remarkable that he did what he did. And he's going to be the only guy that's catching the... I mean, Hopkins is proving he's not going to stay healthy. And if you think Hopkins is going to stay healthy this year, go draft him. Go draft Hopkins. I'll take Ridley. He's going to, by default, get massive, massive target share. And Hopkins, we always talk about, hey, the vacated targets for Keon Coleman. It's the second best situation in the National Football League, 58% vacated targets. He's going to feast, he's going to feast, he's going to feast. But yet, nobody talks about, hey, Hopkins, if he's not the same player or can't stay healthy or doesn't get back as fast as people want, what kind of vacated target situation do you think just got handed to Calvin Ridley? Ridley is so reasonably priced too. If we look at his ADP, I'll pull it up on Underdog Fantasy. It's pretty insane where he's going. There's not much of a risk for it at all. If you look at Ridley's going around, let's see here. Rice to the moon, that's right, Ernie. There's going to be a lot of, what I'm noticing? There's about 4 or 5 people. There's code Smitty, get 100% match. It'll get you 50% match up to $250. So hit that link and you'll definitely get a match for as long as it lasts. You got to hurry though before it goes away. Ridley's ADP is 55 overall, which puts him right at pick number. Let's see, 55 overall is right around mid 5 to 6. I would say that's an Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. I think he's more around 6th round in home leagues, maybe 6.5. So you could say in best ball he's a little pricey. He's got a little bit more risk, but still fantastic value in like late 5, let's call it. I wouldn't take him in early 5. I would not take him in 4. We're not playing that game again. You don't need to play that game. And for the few people that I've seen, no, not doing it, not going near him, not doing this experiment again. Remember the experiment cost you a high draft capital pick last year. The experiment this year in best balls, mid to late 5. And I'm fine punting that until you see him fall in 6, which you will. You'll often see him at 6.1, 6.4. And so why not just punt the Ridley experiment in best ball until you get those opportunities? But when you see him in round 6, I urge you to take some stabs unless these two guys are there. If Rice and Worthy are there, I'd take Rice and Worthy. I'm taking Rice and Worthy back to back. I'm taking Mahomes in round 4 in best ball. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. Code Smitty gets it done as well. The link's in the description of the video. I'm drafting Mahomes in round 4, sometimes 5.1, and I'm taking Worthy and Rice back to back as late as I can get them. And I don't know that after tonight's game, where these two gentlemen were pretty fire tonight, and Worthy was targeted 6 times in this game. He had 62 yards, 3 receptions, 1 touchdown, and was also running the football and doing a phenomenal job. His speed is absolutely on display. I love Rashee Rice and the consistency he'll bring until he's removed from the field, if he is, that he brings to the table. He's definitely like the most consistent of the duo, because Worthy's very raw. Worthy dropped a couple passes. Even his touchdown grab, he bobbled it a little bit. There's no one around him. He bobbled it a little bit. That's why I did the play on him, dropping footballs, and he'll never work out. That's kind of what people say about him. But absolutely love both of these guys. But Ridley's a fantastic home league, non-best ball, 6 to 7 round pick. I've seen him go in 7 a ton, 7.3, 7.4. I see him go at 7.7, 6.8, 6.9, 6.10 all the time. Ridley's a smash in the 6th to 7th round. The later you get him, the more risk you can bake into the equation. If you're wondering why this man, Devonte Smith, is on the board, let me explain that. Here we go. Devonte, you are now a moon man extraordinaire.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Wouldn't be his first time gracing this list because he's an OG from the moon man list. Look, Kellen Moore is going to produce 2 top 15 wide receivers, one of which will probably be top 4 to 7. Keenan Allen was in a horrible situation last year. Herbert was injured. The team just unraveled. And Keenan Allen in the slot, playing slot a lot, which Devonte Smith's going to play a ton of slot. In the slot, Keenan Allen was wide receiver 3 in fantasy football. CeeDee Lamb had monster success in Kellen Moore's offense in the slot. Basically, anytime this man is a slot wide receiver, or anytime this man has a slot wide receiver, Kellen Moore, that wide receiver becomes a top 10 wide receiver. Now, here's the catch. Even if Devonte Smith plays more slot than A.J. Brown, they'll definitely rotate and move all over the field. A.J. Brown's so good, and A.J. Brown and Hurts have such a good connection, that top 10 value isn't going away. So even if Devonte Smith plays out of his mind, I think they level out a little bit. They become a 1A, 1B, and I don't know which one will be the 1A. Most likely it will be A.J. Brown, but make no mistake that whoever's playing slot for Kellen Moore will thrive. And there is a world where they are dead even. A.J. Brown misses 2 or 3 games because of his knees. They're always a concern, but I still draft A.J. Brown in the late first round any chance I get, and I'm not taking one of, Bijan or Breece Hall or somebody like that. But I'm quietly liking Devonte Smith's cost of entry in home leagues where he's going in the 4th round or bottom of the 3rd, sometimes top of 4, more so than A.J. Brown at 10 overall in a home league. So cost of entry is better, similar to like drafting, Kupp instead of Puka Nacua. You get Kupp in the 3rd to 4th round in a home league, and that's better than taking Puka Nacua, who's banged up at the 1-2 turn. So these are the guys. Now you might say to yourself, or to me, Smitty, where's Zamir White?
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
He's not there. I love Zamir White. I'm still very much a proponent of drafting Zamir White, but there's only so many spots that I can, set aside for players. And I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to be hard for a lot of you to hear, but when you play on a piss poor team, when you play on a team that's not going to score a lot of touchdowns, when you play on the freaking Giants or the Raiders, you're not scoring a lot of touchdowns. This makes us cautious about Danny Dimes feeding Neighbors enough to warrant Neighbors' going rate in best ball, which is the 2-3 turn. You're taking Neighbors at 25, 26 is too high. Take him at mid to late 3rd round. I'm okay with that, but you're buying him in a territory where you can't go higher than that, or you're running the risk of really getting burned. Neighbors is going to be targeted a ton. He's going to have 100-yard games a lot with no touchdowns. It will be serviceable for sure. It'll be more than serviceable. It'll be elite wide receiver 2 numbers, sometimes very low-end wide receiver 1 numbers. Occasionally he will get, a huge game, 100 yards and a touchdown. But Danny Dimes is awful. That Giants offense is pitiful. This team will not live anywhere near the red zone, and that is a problem. And time again, people draft players on horrible teams, and they don't score fantasy points. They don't score touchdowns. They don't live in the red zone. I say this to you every day practically, every week. You want to draft players that live in the red zone. You want them to have a home inside the red zone. So Devonte Smith, Rashee Rice, Worthy, you see, Cooper Kupp. There's a theme here. Let's go to the Saturn men.
The Saturn men.
Breece Hall.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Achane, Bijan, Mahomes. These guys live in the red zone. And even the Cardinals will have a great offense, even if they have a bad defense, which will help support them throwing the ball more and more. These are monsters.
He's on a shuttle tomorrow.
Jacobs, amazing offense. Stroud leading an amazing offense. Debo, amazing offense. Cooper Kupp, amazing offense. London, McBride.
Dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Coleman, AR5. AR5 is the offense. Dell, Barkley, Pacheco. There's a theme here, guys. And when people don't draft players on good teams and they just try and bank on the talent like neighbors, you're going to get burned. When people draft Zamir White, unfortunately, I had to remove him. I still like him, but he's on a pathetic, pitiful passing attack that can't navigate and move down the field. Who's matriculating the football down the field in LV? Nobody. How's Zamir White going to have... How's he not going to get games scripted out? I mean, how many touchdowns did he have last year? Didn't he have like one touchdown last year? We can't count on this. We can't count on it. And yes, the Garrett Wilson example, I see that in the live chat. It's exactly the point. You're in a bad offense, you can't score. Neighbors is overvalued. These are the guys. And then before we get to the remaining super chats here, Davis and Gore, my prediction is this: midseason monster form. Davis and Gore, Frank Gore Jr., who's not even second or third on the depth chart, really. They're he could get, who knows, he could get cut at any moment, but I think he rises up. It's a combo type of thing. It's like the Mason and Mitchell. It's like, and if you notice, Benson and Connor moved to the midseason monster board because I think Benson, clearly is going to take some time to rise. And while I love Connor and the combo is still one of the best cuffs in fantasy, we've covered this. Like, this is one of the best duos in fantasy. We don't need it on the Moonman list because the Moonman list is really trying to promote Benson, and Benson's a midseason monster. So I removed it from the list. He's still all over the place. We're promoting the hell out of the Benson-Connor combo. But midseason monster is more appropriate. And Warren suffering the hamstring injury, midseason monster is more appropriate. And Davis and Frank Gore Jr., one of these guys is starting handfuls of games this year. James Cook owners may want to put their earmuffs on for another couple minutes. I just don't see James Cook thriving all year long. I think Davis eats into his work. Davis is a machine. He's an older running back, so dynasty, I don't know where I'd value him. He's 24 years old, but he's an absolute monster and force on the field, and he looked fantastic in this game. So did Frank Gore Jr., both averaging amazing yards per carry, just looking the part. They're bulldozers. They're exactly what the Buffalo Bills want if they want to run the ball. Will they throw to James Cook? Yes. Will Davis take all the PPR work? Absolutely not. Not unless James Cook goes down. If James Cook gets hurt, then Davis would go to the moon. And if Davis falters, gets injured, then Frank Gore Jr. goes to the moon. It's a deep stab. It's not something that makes a whole lot of sense, and it's definitely a little rough around the edges. But you want that from me. You want me to deep dive and dig into the weeds and try and come up with something that could be league winning and different and give you a variant of a team that no one else might have. And I just think that this is one of those situations, and you should keep a damn eye on it. That's all I'm going to say on that. Super chats galore. Rockout, appreciate you again, Rockout, for dropping the super chat. Young coming in strong says, here goes Smitty dropping gems tonight. Thank you, Young. Appreciate you being in the building tonight. RDB says, what's up, Smitty? 10-team PPR. I have Mahomes, Hill, Devonte Smith, Achane, Henry, Ingram, Walker, Dell, Zamir, Keon, JD, 5. Trade Mahomes and Smith and Walker for Bijan, Andrews, McLaurin. No, absolutely not. McLaurin and Andrews, no, absolutely not. I love Bijan, bro, but Mahomes is a mother freaking machine. I assume is this Dynasty? Did he say redraft or not? I don't see redraft or Dynasty. I'm assuming Dynasty, but if it's redraft, I definitely think maybe I lean a little more toward considering it, but I love Devonte Smith so much more than McLaurin, who's older. Andrews is older. And so really Walker, Smith, Mahomes, it's just safer. It's just better. And your team's phenomenal. You've got Achane. You got a really good squad. Henry's getting older. If this is redraft, you don't even really need it because you're crushing with this team. I'm going to stand down, even though I love Bijan, bro. I'm going to stand down. Who would be your quarterback if you made this trade? Jane Daniels. I'm going to say keep Mahomes. Keep Mahomes and Smith. Mahomes is going to score 50 touchdowns. It's a tough call to make, and you're drafting Bijan so high. It's really hard, but you're like if you're to go back and draft, you're not drafting Mahomes over Bijan, and I'm not saying that's the value that I'm looking at here, but I am saying that the way your team's built, and I've said this before, Mahomes deserves to be in the second round. I'm not saying draft him there. That guy asked earlier, should I draft Mahomes in round 2? And I said no, because you don't have to. But the real determination of where a QB's value is when the draft is over, how easy is it to trade for Mahomes, Hurts, or Josh Allen? I venture to say that you could offer someone the player you picked at 1.12, the player you picked at 2.1, 2.2 for Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Jalen Hurts, and the owner of that quarterback will say no. What's that tell you? That they're undervalued on draft day, but when the whistle blows or the draft is over, everybody goes back to saying, they are valuable. And that's such a wild thing to think about. That's like driving your car off the lot after you buy it. Instead of going down $2,000, the moment in appreciation when you drive the car off the lot, it goes up $2,000. The moment you drive your car off the lot, it goes up $2,000. That's Mahomes. Proven by me saying no to that trade when we're drafting Bijan higher. It's crazy to me that Mahomes, Josh Allen, and these are quarterbacks like that used to go in round 1 in fantasy. And the industry is the one that drove them into round 2 and 3. We're here to enjoy it. We're here to relish in it. I'm not here to change that. I'm not here to try and tell you to take Mahomes in round 1. I'm not a moron. But I'm here to tell you that he kind of deserves to be at the 1-2 turn. Hurts deserves to be at the 1-2 turn. I'm just telling you what they deserve. I'm not telling you to ever consider drafting a quarterback in round 2. Unless it's at the 2-3 turn and you're taking Josh Allen and you don't like how the board's falling. But we're taking advantage of it. So understand what I'm saying. Is there a big difference between 6-point and 4-point? Yes. That makes Josh Allen a lock in round 2, and it makes his other quarterbacks a top, inside the top of round 3 territory for sure. Because 6 points, if Mahomes throws for 45 touchdowns, or if Josh Allen runs for 15 again and throws for 34, which I think he will, then you're going to have like such a high scoring player, bro. They're going to outscore other quarterbacks by like 100 points. Got second spot, keeping Hall in round 2, getting Mahomes in 3, Dell in 4. Feel like there's a lot of good wide receivers in the late rounds. Should my number 1 be Hill, CD, or CMC, Lamb, or Bijan? Hall, getting Mahomes in 3, Dell. So you're pretty balanced. Hall, Mahomes, Dell. You can go whatever you want. So go best player available. If it's me, I'm taking probably Tyreek Hill or Bijan. I don't mind either. I'd probably go Hill. In that situation, but they're damn close, and you've got an amazing start there. Bijan's fantastic as well, but I do like the idea of Hill, Dell, Mahomes, and Breece Hall. I think that's a nice ring to it, my guy. And then you're gonna get a steal like Achane later. Can we give it up for Achane? Achane today had 4 touches and 44 yards. Unreal.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. 4 touches.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
A-Chan is the man.
4 touches, 44 yards. What an absolute monster. What an absolute monster. Dynasty League, I have Deontay Johnson, and they want him and a 25-second rounder for Rice. I'd take Rashee Rice in a heartbeat over Deontay in that pick, bro. It's not a first round or anything. I don't care. So, yeah, definitely send it packing. Go get Rashee Rice. He's a league winner right now. And I know that he's got some question marks for the future for sure. But right now, it's time to smash. Danny Dimes, midseason form. Definitely rock out. Definitely a midseason form. And I snuck one in on you guys because I want to make sure I don't have any of you in the building here drafting with me. Because I want to make sure we're taking full advantage of these live streams to help you guys draft. And when I'm in Snipe City, it doesn't help you at all. It helps you almost zero when I'm in Snipe City. So let's get to it. Your boy is in the 12 spot or the 11 spot to play Underdog Fantasy right alongside me, which I think is the best way to do it because then you're not necessarily getting sniped. Hit this link. The link is in the live chat pinned, and we're going to jump right in. This is the best way for you guys to learn and see my process versus have me just get sniped and not be able to show you a plan of attack whatsoever. So here we go. We're getting into it. Plus, I can't talk through my draft. I can't tell you what I plan to do. So this is the best way to go about it. We're going to do more of it this way than we are have you guys all jump in a draft with me. It's just so much better for you. It's so much better for the thousands of people that watch the stream back later and don't have to watch me draft a really, really bad team because we're out there picking off players early, left and right, sniping each other, stepping on each other's feet. Debo's ADP is probably like mid-second, Togo, probably mid-second, my guy. So hit that link, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. All right, so on the clock here, Garrett Wilson's there, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s there. Let's go with let's go with the Garrett Wilson. We'll go with the little Garrett Wilson action right there. I love the Garrett Wilson pick. I might go a little early on. No, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do on this one. I'm gonna go A-Chan with this next pick. A-Chan, 4 touches, 44 yards. He's the most explosive player in the National Football League. He's just the most explosive player by far and away in the National Football League. Just Dynasty League, Burrow for Pickens. My QB is Purdy. I guess I go with Pickens, I suppose. Okay, let's go. I mean, I like Gibbs here, but he is bad. I'm gonna go A-Chan. I'm going to go A-Chan here. I'm going to go A-Chan a little early. We'll go Garrett Wilson and A-Chan. I don't have a lot of these. Okay. Michael, appreciate you, my guy. Rock out dropping a super chat on the channel here. A-Chan putting stores out of business with spinach. No doubt about it. I know my spinach went missing, but that's okay. I set my spinach out at night. Before game days. We're gonna have a video on this, by the way. It's gonna be a video drop. You know how Santa Claus you set out milk and cookies? We set out spinach the night before game day with a little green Santa hat on, and that's we'll put it out there for A-Chan Claus to come eat his spinach. Yes sir, yes sir. Is this Best Ball Mania? This is a puppy. This is a puppy 20-second timer puppy draft. All right, Garrett Wilson and Harrison Jr. would have been nice, said Zach. If you like going wide receiver blindly, no matter what. I like the approach, but I'm just saying I get some people want to do that. I'm doing a puppy 3. A puppy 3. 20-second timer. I love these. I love 20-second timers. They're so much nicer. Let me see if I can put this up here a little bit, because then I can expand it and make it bigger for everybody. Let's do that. That's a lot cleaner. You can't see as many rounds, but I don't know that you could even see it anyway. How's that? That's good. Mahomes is kind of in the way, but we'll scoot him over. Mahomie, we'll have him just kind of peep from the side. Whoa, Mahomes. You guys see that behind the back toss by Mahomes? That was crazy. It was so wild. What's Achan's stats today? He said he had 4 touches for 44 yards. He had 44 yards and 4 touches. He had 2 carries for 10 yards, so 5 yards a pop. 34 yards on 2 catches. So 2 rushes, 2, if I remember correctly, off the top of my dome. 2 rushes, 10 yards, that's 5 a pop. 2 receptions for 34 yards. That's 44 yards on 4 touches. That's so wild. He is so wild. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Mostert didn't, have good yards per carry. That doesn't mean too much to me. I definitely still love Mostert and Achan together, but kind of wild and crazy, if you ask me. Okay, so you notice how the board looks really nice. This is what happens when I draft by myself, or when you draft by yourself using code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. Hit that link. Do it live. Here's the link as well if you want to smash it. It's also in the description of the video. But we got Mahomes and Josh Allen both on the board. I get one of Mahomes or Josh Allen. Something you can't get in a Snipeville City draft. Which is why I stopped drafting with you all, because you're snipers. And here we go. Mahomes is so far down. I don't know if this guy. Here's the calculated guess. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Kelsey here. Especially given that I took Kelsey, I highly doubt he's gonna love the stack now. He's gonna be like, damn you, unless he wants to wide receivers. He's also gone running back. He could snipe me, but he's probably going wide receiver. He could go wide receiver Mahomes. It's a little bit risky, but I highly doubt he does. I think he probably goes wide receiver, or he looks at Hurts and says, I don't like the fact that he took Kelsey. But now that there are wide receivers to cuff with Mahomes, it does make sense. So Mahomes fell. That was a calculated, fantastic decision. This is straight fire. That, it's like you do something like this, and you could sleep all day. You could mess up, with the misses. You could forget to pick up the kids from school. But when you end up with Garrett Wilson, Devonte Chan, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day, you are absolutely redeemed. You've redeemed yourself. Totally redeemed yourself.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
I don't care if the kids are still at school. You forgot to pick them up. It's literally 2 a.m. They're still there. If you drafted this team, I'm still proud of you. Look at this squad. Now, some might say, Smitty, you don't have enough wide receivers. Your wide receivers are thin, Smitty. I can't believe you don't have wide receivers. Probably gonna hear that from a few casual Calebs in here, or regurgitated watching best ball stream Rodgers that think that the whole world revolves around drafting just wide receiver. Now look at Rashee Rice. He went so early to Alex. Alex took Rashee Rice. I wouldn't be surprised if Worthy went early too, which is fine. I want them, but I've got a fantastic Kelsey Mahomes cuff. I've got a fantastic RB1 in Achan. I could go 100 different directions. Tank Dell was somebody I really wanted. I knew he wouldn't come back to me, though. I almost went Tank Dell Mahomes, but I wanted to get the Kelsey Mahomes stack. So, a lot of good teams. A lot of good teams in here. And I hate the strategy that slot number 2 is doing. You guys know this. You know that this is like, you aren't even drafting with any sort of ingenuity. It's just straight Excel sheet. I'm going to sort by wide receiver. I'm actually going to uncheck the running back, quarterback, and tight end column. And when I'm on the clock, I'm just going to hit the button. Wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. And I don't want to hear what happened last year. I could give two shits what happened last year. I'm trying to predict what's going to happen this year. I'm trying to win off this year's stats, not last year's stats. Ridiculous argument that people make. Absolutely ludicrous. But last year, Smitty. Last year, Smitty. Oh, Xavier Worthy's one pick away. He's the top wide receiver ranked. I wouldn't be shocked if... Yes! Yes. Yes. Do it. Do it.
It's Chiefs season. Mahomes is scoring 45 plus touchdowns. Let them cook.
Okay, on the clock here, Jaden Reed's there. A lot of good players here. Hollywood's here. Do I go Hollywood? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I mean, he probably won't play week 1. And he could miss more time, but fine. I'm fine with that. And if Rashee Rice like misses half of a year, then boom. Boom. Love this team. All right, dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the addict.shop phone lines. I'm sorry, I had the phone number up and I didn't have the phone line open yet. So if anybody tried to dial in, it wasn't going through. My bad. We got a super chat here from Andrew. $10 holler. $10 hollers get a moonshot. Andrew to the mother.
To the moon.
Freaking moon, Andrew, my guy. Appreciate you. Andrew says, in 8-person family league, got Anthony Richardson, Kyron, Achane, Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, K9, Pitts, Kupp, smashed. Pollard. Who should I trade for a better tight end? I love your team. Let me first say that like you made a great decision by getting a big quarterback like that, because that's the way you can kind of differentiate, because everybody's going to have a loaded team. But I would try and trade for Mahomes. I really would. I think this is the year, bro. I think this is the year. But I love AR5. AR5 is a fantastic quarterback. Who would you trade? I would trade Najee off the news that he's probably going to be starting week 1 because Jaylen Warren has got the hamstring injury. And I would sell Najee because I still think Jaylen Warren is going to take his job. So if you could upgrade tight end, absolutely. Plus, Hawkinson is not even going to be ready. But you got Kyle Pitts. So I'm using Najee to get Mahomes, and I just keep Kyle Pitts. I don't know why you're down on Kyle Pitts. I was looking at Hawkinson, and I realized you had Kyle Pitts because I forgot who you had because I read it off. 516 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
What's up, Smitty? My name's Antonio. I'm from Long Island, New York.
What's up, Antonio? What can I do for you?
I'm in a 10-team PPR redraft tomorrow. I have the 10th pick out of 10. I don't know if I should go A.J. Brown if he falls and then grab Gibbs or Kyron, or should I just grab Gibbs and Kyron and double up on RB?
I mean, what about Achane? And damn, Coleman just went. Son of a B. What about Achane and Kyron?
I'm big on Achane too, but you'd rather Achane or A.J. Brown if he falls?
I mean, it's debatable. I think it's very debatable. I'm going to go Jameson Williams. I like that pick a lot. Hollywood, Jameson Williams.
Are you worried about Gibbs?
Am I worried about what? Gibbs? No, I'm not really worried about Gibbs, no. Would I let him fall a little bit because I'm allowed to? Travis, try calling it again. I don't know why it didn't add you. Am I letting him fall? Yeah, I'm trying to let him fall. I'm trying to take advantage of the ADP, but I'm not too scared. Package in the risk if you can.
Yeah. The thing is, I know you're high on the Eagles offense, so am I. I just think A.J. Brown, if he's at 10, I feel like I got to take him there. And then it's either Kyron, Gibbs, or Achane.
Kyron, Gibbs.
Which is the hardest thing I have to
Yeah,
choose
I don't think that's hard though. I think that's a fantastic dilemma.
Place
Hey, Antonio, call right back in. Your phone's not playing nice with everybody else. I don't know why. Ron and Travis, try calling back in, and then Antonio, try calling when they're on the line. I don't know what. Sometimes people's phones, they just don't play right with everybody else's. So I took Raheem Mostert. Some might say this is a crazy approach, but to be honest with you, I love stacking all the other positions and having the entire Miami Dolphin rushing stable, and then I'm starting, because it's best ball, I'm starting Achane and Mostert, probably optimal scoring without me deciding, every week. Now they have obviously the same bye week, so I'm gonna have to prepare for that, but I truly believe your running back 1 and 2 can be Achane and Mostert, and then you grab Wright. If Mostert gets hurt, then Wright and Achane are potentially starting for you every week together. And for anybody that says, oh, that's not the best way you should approach your running back 1 and 2 in this particular build, I disagree with you. And the reason, and the source that I will cite will be Exhibit B, which is the second best cuffing situation in all fantasy football. And Exhibit C is the documentation that says this running stable has never existed before. This running stable has never existed before. So I'm going to ride the train. And I don't care if anybody wants to ride the train with me. I'll conduct it by myself. And I love this build. And I've got amazing wide receivers when you look at it. I've got Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. And, even though he's banged up, I got Jamison Williams. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. Let me go over to Travis, who tried calling like twice. Sorry, I don't know what was going on. Antonio, I'll be right with you. Just mute if you could. Travis, and then Ron, and then Antonio.
No, it's all good. If you want to go to Antonio, go ahead. Who's calling first?
All right, Antonio, and then Ron, and then Travis. Go, Antonio.
Yeah, I just wanted your take on that. What you would do, in your opinion, if you had the 10 pick on that 1-2 turn.
I would take Kyren.
AJ Brown,
I would personally take it. It's a 10-man league, so your wide receivers are gonna be deep, bro. You're in a non-best ball, and so Dell's gonna fall, Devonte Smith's gonna fall, DK's gonna fall, Cooper Kupp's gonna fall, Debo's gonna fall. I wouldn't be shocked if you had a Debo and a Cooper Kupp going running back, wide receiver. I wouldn't be shocked at all if you had that team. And I would even detour and take one wide receiver with my third and fourth round and take Mahomes or Hurts or Josh Allen. But I do believe that my choice would be in a home league, even though Kyren falls so far. He fell to 25 overall here. That's actually pretty early. He goes a lot later most times. I would take Kyren and Achane. That's my favorite running duo at the 10, 11, or 12, 13 in a home league. In best ball, we're trying to let these guys fall a little bit, but that's just in home leagues they're not. So that would be my choice. But you're not wrong to go Gibbs, bro. The only reason I'm not smashing Gibbs and Kyren or Gibbs and Achane is because there is a little bit of risk, but I'm not letting it scare me. I'm not running away from Gibbs. He's a freaking steal at the 12-13 turn. It just so happens all three of them are like my favorite running backs.
Yeah, I agree, Smitty. Thank you so much for the help.
All right, broski. We'll see you later.
All right. I'll see you. Peace.
All right. Ron Navy. Madcap.
What's up, Ron?
Ron, hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Ron, oh.
I think somebody might be looking for a new job next year.
Tomlin?
Yeah.
Ron. Ron hates Tomlin. He hates Tomlin.
You know what I'll say on Tomlin real quick, Ron?
Go ahead, Travis. Let's hear Travis real quick on Tomlin before Ron taints the entire experience.
Well, I agree with Ron on Tomlin. I think he's like a glorified cheerleader because I think he's, at this point, underachieved. I know people say, oh, he always has winning seasons, but I think he's underachieved because he never takes him over the top. But I think what could happen is he's the right type of guy for Fields. I think if he lets Sullivan work with him and he keeps him motivated and his head in the right space, he could make Fields work. And if he makes Fields work, he's not going anywhere. So that's just kind of my thought on the situation.
Can I get my thoughts, and then we'll let Ron piss all over the Tomlin experience. I would say this. I would say that it's preseason. I don't want to get excited. I also think that, Arthur Smith is potentially got his hands in the cookie jar a little too much right now, and we do need Sullivan back under full control. And I don't know, we don't really have a good grasp on what is what there. I don't think they're going to tell us. They wouldn't tell us. And we have people that could guess, beat writers could guess, but at the end of the day, I think what ends up happening, hopefully, is that what Travis just said, that Sullivan becomes who is the architect of everything good that happened in the second half of the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, with Mason Rudolph playing kind of like a good quarterback. It was a very good little stretch for him, and he got promoted. Ron, what was he promoted to? He went from QB coordinator to assistant head coach, or what? Yeah.
No, he's like offensive.
He got promoted.
Offensive. Yeah, he's like above the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so it's
like offensive.
Yeah, offensive architect. But anyway, I have a feeling that tonight was a bit of I don't know, deciding who's going to control what part of the passing attack. I do think that Fields looked very, very, God, what's the word? Confused a little bit, but I think it wasn't all his fault. I think it's like someone ran him out there without any instructions, ran him out there without any play. Like, I know he had instruction. I know he practiced all week. I know he had plays. I'm not saying this. It's like a hypothetical or I don't know, just a way of describing it. But I feel like he looked like he did in Chicago. But I don't blame that on him. I don't think this is who he is. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers failed him just like the Chicago Bears failed him. And they got to do a better job of preparing him. I do wonder if their lack of ability to get open and support Fields, who's a running quarterback that needs a certain amount of weapons, I wonder if they're going to kickstart the Ayuk conversation again, because Ayuk is, I hate talking about Ayuk. I'm so tired of it. But Ayuk is literally refusing. The word in San Francisco right now is that he still is not happy at all with the Niners offer. So I think tomorrow there's going to be more buzz about that situation, and it's going to get crazy once again. So we'll see what happens.
I think they're offering him a 3-year, not a 4-year, and the guaranteed money's not where he wants it to be. Yeah, they offered him like $30 million supposedly, but that was on 3 years, and then nobody knows what the guarantee part of it was.
$30 million means nothing. It's all about the guaranteed money.
Isn't that scary though? That AB could be right, and who wants to ever believe AB?
Yeah, I don't know.
The guy's But I'm not impressed with this Arthur Smith offense at all. And there's a lot to go around. There's a lot of blame to go around. Broderick Jones, who we drafted last year early. I mean, we put a lot of capital into Broderick Jones from Georgia. He looked like total ass on the field. He was letting people buy him. That's why Russell Wilson was getting sacked so much every other. So the offensive line's looking pretty crappy, not blocking. You saw, both Russell Wilson and Fields, they were getting pressure on them constantly because the offensive line's looking like crap. The defense looked pretty good. I was all right with the defense, but in Buffalo really didn't. You got Trubisky in there, so that's pretty much, we already know what he is.
Yeah, I think that Fields was running for his life. It wasn't so much that Fields held onto the ball too long or anything. He was having to force himself out of the pocket a lot. I just think that I don't think it's on Fields. I think a lot of people are actually saying Fields look good. He gives them the best chance to win. So I'm actually very happy with the narrative that's being painted about Fields, because I kind of thought it could go two different ways. And it seems like it's an overwhelming Fields is the best one. They need to work with him. And I like that thinking. I think people are thinking logically, because I see the forest from the trees. I see the upside of Fields in this offense if they could just surround him with talent. But this is where I think Ayuk might come into play. I think maybe Tomlin's going to go just get it done, because you know what? We need another weapon. Because if Pickens is double teamed, or if we can't get, the offensive line, to block a certain way, we need to stretch the defense so that the offensive line can have a little relief. And what better way than to add a top 10 to 12 wide receiver potential talent? I'm not saying he's absolutely a lock to be a top 10 wide receiver this year because of that situation from fantasy perspective, but route running, his ability to command defensive attention, this becomes a whole different blocking conversation. And I think the offensive line has much greater success when defenses are preoccupied with a Pickens and Ayuk combo. So if I'm Tomlin, I'm getting on the phone saying, what do we need to do to overpay with the Niners? And then if we got to get this kid Ayuk 30.5 or 31 million, whatever, just do it. Let's do it, because right now we have a good team, but we're going to look like fools. And like you said, Ron, who knows what happens to Tomlin if this thing goes completely awry.
San Francisco, I mean, Trent Williams still holding out, right?
Yeah, they need it.
I'm going to trade him Broderick Jones, because he looks like total ass right now on us. So see if they'll take Broderick Jones. Yeah. Trade him Broderick Jones and be done with it. That'll alleviate the Niners a little bit for Trent Williams, playing Trent Williams.
What are you going to get for Broderick Jones if he stinks?
Well,
Broderick Jones stinks. So
he's saying throw him into the deal or something.
Throw him in.
Ron's giving up on him. Ron's going to get ice on Broderick Jones and not coming back.
Senior offensive assistant is what Mike Sullivan is.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Whatever that.
So, but it doesn't matter, because, I mean, the Steelers are a lot like the Bears, because the Steelers don't know how to develop quarterbacks. And that's the problem that I have with Justin Fields, because he does need some work. He needs to work on
real quickly, Ayuk or Leggett, 6 seconds.
Leggett.
I mean, not Ayuk, I'm sorry. Parasol. I think Ron knew what I was saying. Sorry. Ayuk or Leggett. Shame on you for pausing.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Shame on you for pausing, Travis. Parasol or Leggett. I went Leggett. I like Leggett. I think Leggett's
I would have went Leggett.
He's a weird player.
Metcalf type of frame.
Yeah. Hey, hold on, guys. Let me get these other callers because they've been there for a while. Michael from New Jersey, go ahead. You're live. And then David, you're next. Or Dave, you're next. Michael, go ahead. Sorry about the wait.
What's going on? So I got the 104 half PPR on my 12-man league. And I was kind of curious. I know I'm kind of going back and forth between a couple players there. I'm thinking Chase or Breece Hall. Then another question is the quarterback scoring in our league is kind of different. We got 6 points for passing touchdown and a 3-point bonus at 300 passing yards. So pocket passes are kind of elevated. I was wondering when Mahomes at the 304 would that be a good spot for him considering those scoring?
Yeah, I mean he's a good spot anywhere, especially if you have like any scoring that helps quarterbacks at all more than normal. But Mahomes is. But I mean, if you don't believe in Mahomes, you don't believe in Mahomes. I have people that argue with me, and I really don't care. I don't even argue back, but they write me a paragraph in my comments, be like, "God, tell you why Mahomes is not last year," and I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. This is what I believe. This is what my eyes tell me. My gut tells me Mahomes is on a mission, and people that say that the NFL is scripted, I don't agree with that. But I think that there's maybe some assisting that they do. If you believe in the scripting at all, this is what the NFL wants. They want Taylor Swift back in the Super Bowl. They want the Chiefs to win 3 straight and be the first team to ever do it. They want their golden boy Mahomes. So, like, if you do believe that the refs give them calls or whatever, Niner fans are still crying about that. They were so hell-bent against crying about what happened in the game when the Eagles were Eagles cry, remember? And then I still hear the Niners fans talking about it. They continue to cry. Let me show you the film of them holding. They're, like, still going over it. But, yeah, I think Mahomes is a smash, bro. What was your other question?
Yeah. The other one was just at the 104, half PPR. There's a few guys we go in between because I think to me, personally, there's the clear top 3 with CMC and Lamb and Hill. The number 4 is kind of like, is a tier fall off. So I'm kind of debating between like Chase and Hall, and even Amon-Ra at that point too. So I was kind of debating between that. Yeah,
I mean, my top are Hill, Bijan. I still have Lamb right there, but Hall, Lamb. I love those. Chase, I don't know why I'm a little fearful of Chase over those guys, but let me just grab a player real quick. Jermaine Burton. But yeah, my top guys are Hill, Bijan, kind of tied, and then it's like Breece Hall, Lamb. Then honestly, that's where CMC comes in. I know I got him low, but he's got a calf injury. He screwed me last year, and this isn't like revenge or anything. I'm not like saying this because I'm bitter or something about it, but he got hurt last year, and I just I just like he screwed me out of a bunch of money on underdog. Because if he just would have played,
I'd be bitter too, bro. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. I'm just like, is he gonna do it to me again? And am I going to be, saying, why didn't I go Bijan, who's younger, and I feel like the torch is getting passed to him this year anyway. So give me Bijan, give me Hall.
About the whole Algier comments?
What Algier comments? The ones that he's a backup running back that they say, oh, he's going to be involved. Like, people are out of their minds, bro. They're absolutely out of their minds. How much more do you have to hear? Yeah, how much do you have to hear all season long of them saying we're going to feed him, he's going to be Christian McCaffrey, he's going to get Christian McCaffrey workload? Yep, how many times were you told that? About 5 or 6 times this offseason.
I've heard that in the past, and they weren't CMC though. We hear that CMC workload all the time.
I know, bro, but you were told 6 times that he's going to be CMC this year by the coaching staff, and that they're gonna run. They're gonna give him the ball in every single way possible. And somebody's asking leading questions. Hey, is Algier a bum? And that's probably the way they word it. And he's like, no, Algier's gonna be involved. This is just like when Debo was asked by Kay Adams on Up and Adams, hey, do you think Ayuk can you win a Super Bowl without Ayuk? And Debo said, his voice got really high. Win a Super Bowl without BA? I think BA's on the team, so that's not going to happen or not be necessary or whatever. And all the Niner fans everywhere, all the Niner pages, they cut it up, and it says they cut out the and they put Ayuk is going to be a Niner, not I think Ayuk's going to be a Niner, not I think Ayuk's going to be a Niner. They just put Ayuk's going to be a Niner. Even ESPN was sending out push alerts that said Debo says quote Ayuk is going to be a Niner. It was absolutely ridiculous. So you want to believe that Tyler Algier is going to take Bijan Robinson's job with Arthur Smith gone? I know I said this in the offseason last year, so I get where you're going to be a little bit of PTSD on me. But
that's the thing, yeah. That whole last year, we heard. I get Arthur Smith. He's a fucking war criminal, that guy. So I mean, now that he's gone, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But
yeah, I'm not worried about it.
I got burned with him in 1 year.
Everybody's got a backup, bro. Everybody's got a backup.
There's so many teams that have 2 backups that both feed and eat. I mean, look, you got Montgomery, you got Gibbs, you got Warren and Najee, you got all these teams with double running backs, and they both feed. They both have. There's enough room to where they both can and both be positive to fantasy. So
everybody's
I'm not
feasting.
down on Algier. So yeah, everybody can feast. Algier can feast and Bijan can feast. They both can feast because neither one can play 100% of the whole game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me hit you with this realization, and I don't know, you probably haven't heard me say this, or you wouldn't have even called in and asked such a ridiculous question. Even though I love you, pal, Dave, I'm not mad at you. How many carries do you want Bijan to have? Realistically, like if you're responsible with his health, how many carries do you want him to have?
If I'm taking him at the 104,
no. If you're his caretaker of health, and you want him to stay healthy on the year, how many carries would you give him? Max carries would you give him? If you're the caretaker, it's in your hands.
Oh, probably like 15.
No. On the year.
Oh, okay. On the year, probably like 250, 275.
Okay. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna run the ball 500 plus times. Like, let's just say it was 472. You're talking about giving him. You said 250. Is that how many you said?
Yeah, if we're talking max, and I'm a caretaker, yeah, like 250.
So that's that's barely over 50%. 220 carries are needed to be distributed to Tyler Algier and the backups. This makes me just cringe and vomit all over myself and in my mouth when someone says something like, Algier's going to take Bijan's job. Like, you got 222 carries to worry about distributing. I don't think this is a problem. Not to mention,
they ran.
I didn't think he'd take his job. I think there's enough of a nuisance just to be annoying. I didn't think he's going to take his job.
But is it really annoying, or does it not really matter if he's getting 250, 265 carries? And on top of that, bro, he is probably going to be some version of Zach Robinson's Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua in a way, because Zach Robinson, who had Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, he had two receivers. We only have London, really. We have Kyle Pitts, which is he's gonna play a vital role. But I think Bijan's gonna share in that and have that kind of like volume, production, design plays. Bijan's one of the best receiving backs in the National Football League, if not the very best. I truly believe that. And someone might say Christian McCaffrey is you're full of crap, whatever. Well, you can live in the past, or you can try and predict what's coming. And what I'm saying is Bijan is the best receiving back, the best all-around back, the best total yard back, the best total touchdown back. Will Kyren maybe out-rush him on the ground? Will Barkley maybe out-rush him on the ground? Maybe. Will he have more sum total yards than both of those guys? I think he will be the number one overall total yardage guy, 2,000 yards, 1850, 1925, whatever. And I think he has the most capability of being the total touchdown leader in the NFL in terms of receiving and rushing touchdowns. Will Kyren or Barkley maybe, or someone else, maybe Henry, if he stayed healthy, have more rushing touchdowns? Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, he's certainly going to be in the top 5 for that. But this is a monster, bro. Don't worry, Tyler Algier. No.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, later.
That, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael. Is that Michael or Dave? This is Michael?
That was Mike we just spoke to.
Okay, sorry, Michael. I called you Dave earlier. Later. Dave.
That's all good.
Dave from Cali, you're live. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, what's up, Smitty?
What's up, pal?
So, I'm in this Dynasty League. It's a 10-man, non-superflex. And I drafted Josh Allen, Kincaid, and Keon Coleman for some reason. And so this is...
For some reason.
Most of the people in this league.
It's not a bad thing. It's not
double stacking a non-football.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, when we're talking about everybody saying stacking's okay in redraft, it's not as okay as it is in best ball. In best ball, it's amazing. In redraft, it's risky, but it can be fun.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the Buffalo offense, the Philly offense, potent offenses that are going to be explosive every single week. these offenses, I think, are fine to do those stacks. Plus, what really matters in a stack, bro, is how spread out they are. Because if you think of it from this perspective, like if you go back to the days where Kelsey was a first rounder and Mahomes was a second rounder, that was rough because you would take Kelsey in round 1, and remember Kelsey used to go in 1. That's crazy. Kelsey in 1, Mahomes in 2. Now you're tied to the KC Chiefs, and you only have your third rounder, your fourth rounder, your fifth rounder, your sixth rounder to carry you. If rock out, if you could mute real quick, your phone's doing that again. Your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth rounders are the only ones carrying you if the KC Chiefs have a bad game. But you're drafting Josh. You're not even drafting one of these guys in round 1. You're drafting Josh Allen. Where'd you get him?
This was a dynasty. I probably got him at the end of the second round. Okay,
so Allen, and where'd you get Coleman, and where'd you get Kincaid?
I got Coleman in the 7th and Kincaid in the 4th.
Okay, so Kincaid in the 4th. We'll put King there and Coleman here. So if you have a bad Buffalo Bill game, which is rarely going to happen because if they're losing, they're throwing. If they're winning, they're throwing. You have your first rounder, your third rounder, your fifth rounder, your sixth rounder to carry you if the Buffalo Bills have a bad game. But I have very, very good news for you. Josh Allen barely ever has a bad game. He had 15 rushing touchdowns last year. He was QB 1, 2, 1, 1, 6 in his past 5 seasons in a row. He's got a top 10 offensive line. And if you look at his game log from last year, look how many times this guy was a monster. Top 10 quarterback in every game but 3. Top 6 quarterback 10 times. Look at all that green. QB 7, QB 8, QB 1, QB 2, QB 4, QB 2, QB 4, QB 5, QB 1, QB 9, QB 2, QB 6, QB 4. You're going to be fine. Like, you're rarely going to have the Buffalo Bills crap the bed, and you have so much firepower with your first rounder, your third rounder, and your fifth and sixth rounder to carry you if that does happen. So I'm not against stacking. Just make sure if you do stack, you have some spread out talent to carry you.
Well, I was really getting at this is a community league, so I thought maybe I could trade Kincaid and get McBride since they're pretty much the same value, and just don't.
I'm gonna say no.
The triple stack.
I'm gonna say no. I don't mind the triple stack. I don't mind the
All
Buffalo
right.
Bills. I don't mind the triple stack. But do your thing. If you like McBride, I think McBride could be the number 1 tight end. So could Kincaid though. Kincaid's getting rave reviews. The Buffalo Bill offense is so many vacated targets that Kincaid's gonna have like premium choice of. He's getting a lot of those are getting shoveled right over to him. A lot of vacated targets in Arizona, but MHJ is going to grab a lot of them. And, at least Kincaid could be the number 1 receiver in his offense, whereas McBride probably can't. But he's still going to be great. I still love him. But I'm going to say no. And not to mention, don't let Coleman force you into saying, well, now I have 3 of them. I love Coleman. But, Kincaid and Allen, I'm going to keep that. Plus, it's going to be so much fun, bro. It's going to be fun. If it can't hurt you too much, I would keep it because it's going to be fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Chad, if you could agree or disagree on that, I'd love to know if you would trade in his situation. Would you trade Kincaid for McBride? All right. We'll see you later, Dave. Appreciate you. Marsman, rock out. You are live, young man.
Can I give you a team I just drafted?
Sure. Hit me with it.
All right, quarterback, Burrow, Rodgers, Bo Nix. Running back, Kyron Williams, Pacheco, Jacobs, Kamara, Elijah Mitchell. Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, McLaurin, Coleman, Mitchell, Polk, Leggett, Phelan, tight end, Njoku, Musgrave, and Gesicki.
Wow. So you got Tyreek Hill, you got Kyron Williams. Who's your quarterback? Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
So Burrow, Kyron. Who's your running back too?
Pacheco,
and then you got Kamara. That's good. It's a really good team.
And Jacobs.
Very balanced. Oh, yeah, Jacobs, man. Very balanced. The fact that you had Tyreek Hill, I was like wondering, okay, you got Jacobs, Kamara, Pacheco, and Kyron, and Burrow. And I'm like, okay, is his wide receiver 1, which would have been okay, is it going to be like a 4th round DK type person, 3rd round DK, whatever. And it was Tyreek Hill.
My wide receiver is McLaurin.
Yeah, I like that. McLaurin, sneaky top 15 guy, maybe higher. McLaurin's gonna ball out. JD5. Anybody see JD5 today? 12 of 13. 12 of 13. So accurate. Does anybody know why there was a incompletion? Was it somebody dropped it or something? Why he wasn't 13?
It was a miscommunication.
Did a streaker run onto the field and run right into the pass and knock it to the ground? Something might have happened. There's something went awry. That wasn't JD's fault. 12 of 13. He's so good. He is so damn good.
83.3% completion.
And I know a lot of people are wanting to talk about Caleb. They think I'm going to crawl in here and say, "Oh, Caleb's amazing. I'm on the train." Let me tell you the good and the bad. The good is that Caleb did have a remarkable off-schedule platform throw where he jumped and threw it, but he also didn't need to jump. So I think people are glazing the hell out of him in weird ways. Number 2, I think that he played like trash the first 3 drives. And I'm not saying there isn't good. I'll hit the good and the bad, but he played like trash the first 3 drives. They only had intention of playing him in 3 drives, but he played so bad they were worried about his confidence, so they threw him out there for a couple more drives. And he did throw a very nice pass. It was a very, very nice ball to Adunze. And I think Adunze and him are going to connect a lot. And there's so much room for Caleb. As we've said, this is not a new revelation. This is not a backtracking of sorts or anything. You just aren't listening. People they want to hear that Caleb's a top 5 quarterback. He's not going to be a top 5 quarterback. Not this year. Could he develop into that? Maybe. But he's going to do what Fields did. He's going to have some big games, fantasy games, because there's a lot of weapons there. And he does have a good arm. He's talented physically, but I don't know. We'll see how he progresses in the mental part, the leadership part. He seems to be leading pretty well. His teammates seem to be pretty excited. But had he not had that extra drive and had he not scored that touchdown, it would be a completely different conversation. There would have been 1 good pass, and it would have been 3 horrible drives. And the 3 horrible drives weren't on Caleb, though, necessarily. It was on Shane Waldron. And this is a man that I think is a very, very bad play caller for this particular quarterback and the offense they potentially want to run. Shane Waldron's been running 2 wide receiver sets, 12 personnel, over in Seattle for a while. And he comes over and he's going to run 3 wide receiver sets now. And the announcers even said, and I don't know how true this is, might be slightly misleading, but the announcers were talking about how this guy has never truly actually called run plays by himself. And Shane Waldron, I predict, is going to be removed from the situation and potentially be, not fired necessarily, but I don't know that he's going to be calling all the plays. Banto says something about a super chat. Banto, think you missed my super chat. Let me look for it, Banto. I'm sorry if I did. Banto says trade Hurts for, I did. I'm sorry, bro. Trade Hurts for Patty 1.1 QB 6 point per TD 300 and 100 bonuses. Hurts for Patty. I probably would. I don't mind Hurts or Patrick Mahomes. I think they're both amazing. I've got these player boards that I pull up all the time, and Hurts is, once I do Mahomes' board, I go over to Hurts's and I say, holy crap. This guy had 15 touchdowns just like Josh Allen last year. He got the 2nd ranked offensive line. He's had 10 plus touchdowns rushing in 3 straight seasons. He was a top 6 quarterback 11 times, 69% of his games. And you look at his game log, and it's unreal. It's better than, even though Josh Allen scored 1, this is crazy. 4, 9, 6, 3, 2, 5, 5, 3. Look at all this green. 2, 6, 5, 5, 10. Unreal season he had. And he's going to have an even better season this year. You're not crazy for saying I want Hurts over Mahomes. Really, you're not. I sometimes I catch myself going back and forth a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But I think cost of entry, because Mahomes is falling a little later sometimes on underdog, it kind of sum total takes over as my favorite pick because of what it means across all platforms. But in a home league, in a non-best ball, they really are very, very close for me. And sometimes in home leagues, Hurts can go after Mahomes, whereas in best ball, he doesn't always. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I would say probably give me the Patrick Mahomes. Why? Because it's 6 points per TD pass, and Mahomes could throw for 40 to 45 touchdowns this year, I believe. And I think Hurts is definitely going to throw for way more than he did last year, but it still might be like in the 33, 34 territory, and he runs for more. But I'm going to go ahead and take the 6 point per TD advantage for Patty Mahomes. So decision is Patty. Super chat here by Charles T. At 1.4 half PPR redraft Brees or Bijan. I'm going to go Bijan. He's my number one overall. A lot of times at 2.9 has MHJ, Kyren, Achane. I'm going to go Kyren, Achane, MHJ in that order. I know that's crazy to put MHJ below those guys, but this is redraft. In Dynasty, I put MHJ over both of them. Who are you guys picking on the sleeper? I'm taking Kyren, Achane, and MHJ in that order, Charles T. If that answered your question, if I didn't answer your question, let me know. And then this last one from Charles: London neighbors, Pittman and Cooper. Which rounds do you see these guys going? Rice over Worthy. I'd probably go Rice over Worthy so I can get both of them. But quite honestly, hard to say. Ron, if you wanted to say one final thing, call back in, Ron, and close it out. I know Ron was waiting on hold. London neighbors, Pittman, Cooper. London's going in the second round. Hopefully 13, 14, 15, 16. Hopefully 14, 15, 16, 17. You've got a wide range there. Neighbors is going way earlier than he should in best ball. 2-3 turns, sometimes 3.1, 3.2, way too early. I'm not taking him there. I've been finding he feels pretty comfortable at like 3.7, 3.8. I took him at 3.5, 3.6 the other day. Didn't really love it. My team didn't feel like a great team. I didn't like it. I didn't. So I'm even pulling back on the 3.5. I think I need him at 3.7 and beyond. I need him past the middle of round 3 so that he's very close to that 4th round pick, and maybe I can get a Tank Dell and a Neighbors together and then feel good about that. So Neighbors in non-best ball probably round 4, round 3 to 4. In best ball mid 3, but I don't like that. Pittman, I don't know where Pittman's ADP is. I'm honestly not a big Pittman drafter. Admittedly, I should be taking him, I think, more because I don't think his ADP is that bad. Oh, here's a Banto super chat. I'm sorry, Banto was sitting right here. And Dylan, are you still here? 12-man, standard, Burrow, Kyren, Connor, St. Brown, Olave, Ferguson, Kupp, Ridley, Brooks, Corum, Dobbs. Dylan, that's really good. Dylan, are you still here? I'm sorry about this, Dylan. What's your question in here? Standard team options or opinions. Opinions on this team. Kyren, Connor. I want Benson if I've got Connor. I love the team. I love Kupp. I love St. Brown. Maybe I'm trading Olave and Connor for a monster. Maybe I'm trying to get Achane somehow. Maybe I'm trying to get Bijan or Gibbs. Buy Gibbs on the cheap using Connor and Olave potentially. Or Brooks and Olave, even better to keep Connor. If you don't, maybe go get Benson. I love this squad. Would I trade Brooks or potentially I wouldn't trade Connor. Definitely go get yourself Benson. Would I trade? I would try and upgrade Burrow into Mahomes, Hurts, or Josh Allen using not Connor, using maybe Olave. I like Olave, but I'm a little bit worried about Olave this year. I came to this board to discuss what player. Travis, who was I looking for?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
It was Charles T's question, I think.
The chat says.
Oh, Pittman. Pittman, where's Pittman at? Pittman is going around. Oh God, yeah, 3rd round. No, thank you. No, thank you. He went at 34 overall. That's just way too early for me. I took Travis Kelce after that. I took Mahomes after that. I'd take ETN over Pittman. I'd take in redraft. I mean, Hurts went after him, way after him. Tank Dell at 46 overall. All those guys over Pittman. So, not that I hate Pittman. I'm not drafting him over those guys. That's just all I'll say about that. Let me go back over to Rockout. Ron, call back if you got something else. I'm probably not going to stay much longer, boys. How do you like the team, though? How do you like the squad? I really think it's a good team. Let me see if I can get this squad screenshotted and put on screen. What do you guys think of this team? Do you see it? Do you need me to screenshot it?
Yeah, if you can.
I'm kind of see it.
Let me screenshot it real quick. And I'll put it on. Here are the quarterbacks and running backs. Let me do this.
When you get a chance, Smitty, Dylan was asking if you had read it super chat or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Dylan, did you get my answer? I did end up seeing Dylan's in the Reddit just a second ago. Dylan said any options.
Okay.
That was the one where I was saying Olave and Connor. I missed it. So Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. I pulled it up and then I got sidetracked and poor Dylan's waiting around for his answer. Dylan, you're the man, the myth, the legend, Dylan. And Dylan, I'll give you a standing ovation. You're such a monster. Okay, here's somebody gifted some memberships. Ron Navy gifted 20. Ron, you can call back. I didn't mean to leave Ron on hold so long. I don't know if he had to go get the steak off the grill or what. But here's the squad so far. Ron's super gifted memberships are in the way. Ron gifted 20. I got to give him a celebration.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
$50. Give me $50, Honda. Get by the brother, Smitty. Give me $50.
All right, so do you guys like this team? Ron, thanks again, pal. Patrick Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr. I swung for the fences there. That's a good quarterback room. H.N. Mostert, Jalen Wright, Trey Benson, Braylon Allen. I admit I'm going a little balls to the wall at RB, but I love it. I mean, I've got it's an early bye week, so it's a little problematic for the two rookie running backs that I have going into week 6 to score points, but I think Trey Benson is he looked really good tonight. He looked pedestrian in the last week, and then he started to look pedestrian again at the beginning of this game. And I admit I was a little bit worried about what Trey Benson was doing on the field. He just looked very, very hesitant. He didn't show any authority. He looked like he was dancing around too much, and he'd just go down. He'd just get tackled and wrapped up. And then all of a sudden he started ripping off a couple. And he started looking really good. And I think he needed that. I think he got over whatever he was struggling with. But Trey Benson very much could be in the mix week 6, but it's a little early to count on it. So I could have screwed myself out of week 6 a little bit. But since this is a puppy and not an eliminator, I'm not really worried about it too much. I think Braylon Allen's going to be good for a touchdown every once in a while. So I think I'll be okay here. But I love H.N. Mostert and Wright, because if Mostert goes down, Wright goes in. I'm getting my running back 1 and running back 2 out of the Miami backfield every week. And I think I'm going to be good. I got Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Jamison Williams, Dontavian Wicks, Leggett, and Jermaine Burton. I've got Kelsey. I've got Ben Sinnott and Gesicki. So the Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Garrett Wilson, H.N. quad pod looks fantastic.
Like those receivers.
Yeah. Sneaky, but good.
Yeah, I think they do look a little like sneaky like. Ron Navy's 20 gifted memberships just came piling through. Appreciate you, Ron, for dropping those. I think I got all the super chats answered and out of the way. If I missed anybody's, please let me know. But I think I got them all. Charles T, thank you very much for yours. Dylan, did you hear my answer all right? Anyway, I love drafting Mahomes and the receivers. I have a team right now where I have Mahomes. I wish I could find it. I got Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Rashee Rice. And I think I want to say I have Kyron. I'm not positive on that one, but I want to say it's Kyron. So it has Hill, Kyron, Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Worthy. Yeah, and there's somebody else. There's some other big hitter, heavy hitter. I might even have that one might have Kelsey. Yeah, because my first rounder is Tyreek Hill. My second rounder would be Kyron. My third rounder would be Kelsey. My fourth would be Mahomes. Fifth, sixth, and seventh are Rashee Rice. Yeah, so I think that one has Kelsey or Kincaid. I might have got split up on that one, but I love that team. Love that team. Ron Navy, you're back. Thanks for the gifted memberships, pal.
Dylan's
Yeah,
on.
I had to.
You got it.
Yeah, do I answer the steak line? Did you have a steak delivery?
That was earlier. I sent you a picture of that one.
Yeah, Ron's got it. Oh,
Picture. I did 2 porterhouse steaks earlier.
I said I was going to show everybody, so let me find it and pull it up here. Ron Navy steaks.
Of course, I didn't eat them all. I didn't eat it all, but there's leftovers. That's like.
Jeez, there was a better looking photo you sent the other night. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, well, I took that picture before I put the butter on them.
Yeah, this is a tomahawk. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a ribeye tomahawk.
Ron, living large. How many? You got a steak freezer in the garage, don't you? Or in the kitchen area? You know you do. Don't lie to me.
I got 2 refrigerators and the chest freezer.
and right, yeah, and so one of them is inside, one of them is in the garage, right?
Yeah. Actually, I got a refrigerator and the chest freezer in the garage, and then the refrigerator inside.
Right. Yeah. Ron Navy. Okay.
Hey, but you saw. Well, I don't know if you saw or you had a chance to pay attention to it, but the Chow Chow I was in the 12th spot, and I decided to try our strategy we tried last year with the quarterback, but I did them in round 3 and 4, because 1 and 2 I took London and Harrison, and then rounds 3 and 4 I took Allen and Hurts.
Yeah. I don't know. I forgot to look if any of those teams were contenders last year. I had so many teams. I don't think I made any finals with any bully QBs though. But
you need to really get out. You really need to let the CMC disappointment go. I mean, I know how you feel because I got screwed because of the canceled game. Remember, for big money, you got to let it go. You just got to let it go.
Yeah, but he's got a calf injury now, Ron. And second of all, you've been a big anti. I thought drafting CMC guy this year because he's older. He's 28 years old. He has the calf injury. The Niners are potentially unraveling.
I still drafted him. I'm still drafting him.
I am too. I am. I'm taking him once in a while.
I'm drafting him a little. I mean, because he goes number 1, so you only get so many one spots. So I'm making sure I get at least a couple shares of them in the different drafts. So.
Abanto, 12-team, 1 QB, 3 wide receiver, 0.5 Hurts, JD5 Fields, Achane, Monty, Brooks, Wright, Braylon, Amon-Ra, Neighbors, F1, Coleman, Dotson. Yeah, bro, really good team. I like this team a lot. Hurts, JD5 Fields, great. Achane. Monty's very crafty. He's 900 yards and 9-10 touchdowns, and that's not affecting Gibbs at all. And Amon-Ra, Neighbors is a great second wide receiver. Coleman, love it. Good team. Really good team, bro. Love the team. Fantastic job, Abanto. Definitely a Smitty driven team.
Thomas is funny. He said in the chat, "I'd like to see what Ron Navy looks like. I always hear his voice."
Justin with a $2 hauler.
Ron.
What's going on, brothers? Shout out to Ron and Smitty. Well, what about Travis? What about Rock Out? Justin? What are they? Chop liver?
Background.
What are they? Chop liver? Ron's steak? Hey, have you guys seen?
I don't need a shout out.
Have you seen Ron? I don't know if you've seen this, but for those that missed it, here's the Xavier Worthy and Kansas City Chiefs drop. Here he goes. So if people on the phone line just remain silent for just one moment while this plays through.
Xavier Worthy, your wide receiver from the combine.
He can't catch.
He has hands.
Just fast. Many say he won't make it at the next level.
Enough. Watch me. I must go back and make it right.
Xavier Worthy.
He can't catch. Just fast. He won't make it.
Catch this. Great catch. Wow, nice catch. He's not overrated catching the ball.
He can really catch.
It's Chiefs season. Mahomes is scoring 45 plus touchdowns. Let them cook.
Dylan, appreciate you, my main man. Charles T with another 5-wad. Pacheco, Jacobs, or ETN in the second round. I'm going to go. They're all really high in round 2. Those are round 3 guys. I guess Pacheco if I need to grab one early, but part of me wonders what other options are on the table. That's a heavy running back league if those are all going to round 3 or round 2. George, appreciate you. Did you end up catching that the first time through, boys? The Worthy drop?
I saw the first time.
Yeah, okay. I think the best one by far is still the Keon Coleman one, but oh, you see the Tank Dell one?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Ron, have you seen the Tank Dell one? It's brand new.
Play it 'cause I'm not sure.
All right, here it is.
One Tank Dell special, please. Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Love that one. Somebody said, did Worthy bobble the touchdown? Yes, I talked about this at the beginning of the show. He's very raw. That's why I'm joking about him not catching the football and going back in time and going around Mars or the moon over and over and over to reset space time, because he does make mistakes. But it's the amount of targets he had. I think it was 6 of them. The amount of times Mahomes looked at him in his direction, he ran the ball. This is like a wide back in a sense, even though he's not built to be any sort of wide back at all. The way that they use him on end arounds, and he's in safe space. He's not going up against a linebacker. He's running by a defensive back on the play calls that they probably line up for most times than not. He'll not be like getting leveled by a linebacker. He's absolutely going to play a little bit of a Debo-esque role in this KC offense, and they kind of have to do that because if you looked at there's a lot of things to worry about with Worthy, and I'll be the first to tell you that I was not the highest guy on him. I can't come in here and say I was first on Worthy over anybody. This is not one of those calls. This is an adjust and adapt call. And honestly, mid-August, I don't feel bad about being on board a player mid-August. It's still very, very early, but the reason he is such a good player, despite having so many problematic situations that could arise, like he's too small, he's going to get leveled, he won't be able to get open off the line of scrimmage. The Kansas City Chiefs are the most ideal scenario in place for a guy like this to go, because none of that's going to matter. It's wild. It's wild. This guy got leveled in practice over and over and over. They're finding out ways to avoid him getting, absolutely blasted at the line of scrimmage. And they're going to continue to use him in ways kind of like I was saying as a wide back, but in a way that's safe for him, because this way he's in motion, he's moving, he's darting across the field, he's getting end around, he's got momentum, and he's able to use his speed to get away from any defender that might be trying to like absolutely pancake him. So the Chiefs know how to utilize him, and he's going to absolutely be a weapon for him, not just a receiver, but an absolute weapon. And all of the concerns that we should have for Worthy, they kind of get thrown out the window because they need him. He can make mistakes. They're still going to give him the ball. He's young, so they're not going to write him off like Kadarius Toney over and over and over and over. Eventually you move on. And he dropped a couple balls, and he even bobbled the ball in the end zone on the touchdown. He's so raw, but there's so much to like, and he's going to be oversaturated. Worthy's going to potentially have 10 touchdowns this year. Total touchdowns. You can okay. Here's so I'm showing this picture, Ron. Someone wanted to see Ron Navy. This is a weird request. Someone want to see his feet too. Thomas, there you go, Thomas. That's who you're talking to. This is Ron Navy. Space. He's even wearing a space hat. He's wearing a space hat. Ronnie from space?
Yes, sir. Hey, Saturn man. I gotta wear the space hat.
Anyway, boys, I think I'm out of here. Anybody have anything else they want to add real quick? I'm tired.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you a question quick. I saw Rain was asking it earlier. It was kind of interesting. In a dynasty, he was asking, would you rather have Etienne and Mostert or Kenneth Walker and Rashee Rice? He also has Kyron and Corum as his other running back.
Etienne and Mostert, all by week 6. Etienne and Mostert or Rashee Rice and Walker. I'm going to say Etienne and Mostert.
Yeah.
But it would depend on his wide receiver. His wide receivers. I need to know all that for sure. But
he has MHJ, Debo, Amari Cooper, Godwin, D-Hop. So I thought he could probably get by with them in order to have that combo of running backs. But
yeah,
I told him to try to get Jalen Wright.
I don't know that I'd get rid of like a second-round wide receiver. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. Walker's got a 6-round ADP, and Rice has got probably a 6-round ADP, and Etienne's got a top 12 overall value to me, but a top 15 overall ADP, and Mostert. I mean, the combo is great. It's better in best ball because you don't have to make any decisions. It happens for you, right under your nose. But
Would you give up?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm good.
I was just going to say.
You still got about 50
would you?
people in here. Only 136
Would you say
likes.
you should
You
get?
need to get the likes.
Yeah, Ron's right. You're going to have some more likes in here.
343. Yeah.
If he could, would you give up a second rounder? And I don't know what he meant by it, but he said a decent player in a second rounder for Jalen Wright. Is that too much for you?
No, I mean, I don't know what you got to tell me the player is, but I mean,
yeah, I know.
Phantom player in second rounder.
Like if he could give up like Hopkins in a second rounder to get Wright.
I mean, I'd even give up like
something along those lines.
I'd even give up let me think of a solid player. Like if you had Achane, and let's say you had a receiver like, damn, I'm trying to think of one that comes. Let me go to the draft board and see if we can just shout off a few names. So like, it's Aaron Jones. I'd give up Aaron Jones for Wright, straight up, easy.
What about Warren?
But what?
Jalen Warren he has.
I really like Warren still, but the hamstring injury worries me. I don't. Ron, did they end up? I didn't really get a chance to see or look into it yet, but did they say that the hamstring injury was a small concern, Ron, or did they not even update us?
Really, they didn't really. I mean, he hasn't been so fully evaluated. They were hoping it wasn't going to be a major thing, but don't know yet. I mean, hammies are tricky, like calf.
Josh,
So I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, we'll keep out. Tomorrow we should have news. Josh says we need a redraft list because these are only good. No, you don't need a redraft list. This is everything I do is both, Josh. Everything I do is both. I literally spend all the time in the world every time I show it to explain.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
To explain that some of these values fluctuate and they're different.
Space monsters.
A lot of them aren't. A lot of them are. But we definitely attack it that way. And when I do the 4 best picks in fantasy football, where's my 4 best picks in fantasy? I got that here somewhere. Or 5 best picks. 5 best picks. I got redraft and best ball ADP. I'm constantly attacking both, Joshua. We don't need it. Not to mention, how many lists can I have? Like, let's show the Moon Man redraft list, the Moon Man dynasty list. It'd get too much. It'd get too much. Maybe we need a dynasty board of some kind, though. Coming. Yeah, and the Wild Wild West is coming. It's all locking down anyway, bro. It's all gonna be straight Wild Wild West.
Wanted. The top most wanted outlaws. These outlaws are on the run. 'Cause they're wanted, dead or alive. Can I just ask you one time? Can we do karate in the garage?
Wild Wild West is on its way. All the Spaceman, Marsman, Moonman, that's all off season. The moment week 1, and really leading into week 1, we're going to be doing a bunch of this, releasing 1 or 2 more, maybe all of them. I don't really know how I'm going to even do it yet. But it's all going Wild Wild West. In season Wild Wild West. And then you guys are going to get into that. You're going to be so excited about it. And then by the end of the year, you're going to be just jonesing for the return of the Moonmen, Marsmen, Saturnmen. And on we go, this cycle of ours. Space, Wild Wild West, space, Wild Wild West, back and forth, every off-season, in-season. You're gonna get your happiness from this rotation. All right, boys. I'll see you later. Appreciate all of you. Rock out, Ron, Navy, Travis. If you have something else, scream it before I hit. What, Ron?
I just got coffee. I don't think we're ready to end the show yet.
Oh, damn it, Ron.
Better be throwing some $20 hollers out there then.
Ron dropping 50 gifted memberships. All right, now I gotta whenever it's 50, that's 100. That's more than $100. So the briefcase comes out. Thanks, Ron.
$50. Give me $50, honey. Get by the brother, Smitty. Give me $50. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
I'm making your morning.
I just had the kids come in here and clean up all this money earlier. All right, everybody thank Ron. If you don't get a gifted membership right now, I mean, there's 311 of you in here, so it's possible that there are more than 50 people without a green name. But make sure you go into the settings and turn on accept gifted memberships. I don't know exactly where that is in the settings. Travis, do you know by chance?
Yeah, if you get a gift,
What, Ron?
Yeah. I said if you get a gifted membership, you better hit that thumbs up. Get those thumbs up.
Yeah.
Get those likes.
Pacheco.
I would just
Google it.
Google how to do it.
Yeah.
Google
Give
it step by step.
Google
Hit
it.
that like.
Hit that like button. Pacheco, Jacobs, or ETN in the second. Again, I already answered this, but I think there's more. But better grab in the third. Are you going running back in any drafts? I am, Charles T, not in best ball as frequently as I would like to, but the wide receivers are going to dry up. You know, if you're not careful enough. I have gone RB. Like I've gone Bijan, Kyren, and Achane, or Bijan, Achane, Kyren. I've done that probably about maybe 10 drafts, maybe 15 total out of best ball and puppies or whatever. Probably at least 10 or 15 of those, probably, if I'm thinking this out. Probably at least 10 or 15. But that's not a big percentage of my drafts. I'm maxing out. I almost maxed out weeklies. I think I was 9 or 10 short. But I'm maxing out Best Ball Mania, and I got to get on my horse about this because I got to get them all. You know, I got to do a marathon. In that case, you got to get a Tank Dell. You got to get I think in one of my drafts I've got Bijan, Achane, Kyren, Tank Dell, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice. I don't think I have Hollywood in that one. And I feel pretty good about that wide receiver room. I love Tank Dell, Worthy, Rashee Rice. I'm fine with it. I don't know if I have Mahomes in that one. I don't think I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I have like four, like I said, like 12 to 14, 15 of those. So there's probably a Mahomes version. But it's harder to do in best ball. In non-best ball, RB is a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk. Because the only thing I'm going to say, though, is RBs go so quickly. In round 3, the best value a lot of times isn't an RB. So best player available doesn't allow me to go RB a lot of the time when I want to. But I would do it. If the running backs fall, I would do it. But I'm going Mahomes, Hurts, Josh Allen. I'm going Debo in round number 3. I'm going Cooper Kupp in round 3. Round 3 is a gold mine in non-best ball. In non-best ball and home leagues, round 3 is freaking the best. I'd rather have all my picks sitting in round 3 if I could. I'd take round 2 and 3. I'd trade my first rounder. I'd trade all my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Move everything into 2 and 3. And I think I could draft the best team hands down, no question about it. People quit the league. That's how good it'd be. Charles T, appreciate you dropping that.
He had another super chat though. Yeah. I think he got kind of lost in the gifted memberships.
Yeah, I got it right here. It's this other one. What do you think about 80 Mitchell? Chubb is moving up in drafts to 6th or 7th rounds. I haven't seen that on Sleeper. That's ridiculous. Wow. I don't know. That's robot drafters, Brent. That's not smart. Nick Chubb's not going to even be ready for how many months? As far as Mitchell, I love Mitchell. Thank you, Charles T, for dropping that. Mitchell to me is a very, very sneaky like wide receiver 5, 6, 7 though. Like you can't even really have him as your first wide receiver off your bench. Like if you go 3 wide receivers, he's not the safest wide receiver 4 because he's a rookie and he's not fully cemented into his role yet. So you got to be very, very careful not to see the excitement. That's like kind of that'd be the definition of somebody misjudging the Moon Man list in the wrong way. Like the Moon Man list has a bunch of good guys that could be popping off right away and has a bunch of guys that are prospective, you know, later on in the season, Trey Benson explosion type players. And 80 Mitchell's one of those guys. You start drafting him because we hype him up, we talk about how good he could be, and you draft him to be your wide receiver 3. That's how somebody could lose their league trying to draft sleepers as their starters. So, can Worthy be a Debo? He's a different player, but I think he could be a top 15 wide receiver. I don't know if he'll ever be a top 10. Could be. Not going to rule it out, but I do like him a lot. I think he's kind of a head case in a way, and so we're kind of hoping to see if that plays out. What are you doing? What round do you think is good to draft Hollywood? If we go back to, I want to mute all of Ron's super chat mayhem, or not super chat, gifted membership mayhem. It looks like he went in round 6, and that was to me. That seemed right. It's about where his ADP was. He's going to miss 1 week at least, but I think it's going to scare some people off, and I think round 6 is way too high if you're thinking non-best ball, because look at all the orange. Wide receivers are getting gobbled up, so they've all climbed up rounds and rounds higher than they would be in a non-best ball. So I would say at least bump it down 10 to 12 overall picks to be safe. So you're talking about round 7. Keon Coleman would be in round 7 to 8. Brian Thomas Jr. is fantastic in 7 in best ball, but he might be 7 to 8 in non-best ball, and so on. It does start to normalize a little bit more the further you get down, meaning that like in round 4 in best ball versus non-best ball, the wide receivers are like a round apart where they should be. And then you get to like round 10, it starts to normalize a lot, because then people start scooping up running backs in best ball and vice versa. And before you know it, the player pools are drained about the same amount by like round 10 or 11. But it's a good question. And at the end of the day, I think that Hollywood's a great grab, but I prefer Rashee Rice and Worthy over him. And I've found, Justin, that if you draft, even though Hollywood's ADP is a little higher in some formats, the ADP hasn't caught up to his injury. So I think that people will leave him at the top of the wide receiver suggested rank for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, sometimes 10 picks, because they're not drafting him. Just like McCarthy's still floating up. And if you're drafting a quarterback, McCarthy stays at the very top for a while until the ADP is going to shove him down when it updates. So that's all I got to say about that. Rock out. You got anything else?
Yeah, for some reason I kept getting sniped for Corm like 2 rounds ahead of ADP.
2 rounds ahead of ADP? That's crazy. I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I tried to get him, but I wasn't trying to bite that bullet, and I thought he was going to go the next round.
2 rounds ahead of ADP is crazy. Oh, there they go. Appreciate the gifted memberships, Ron. Travis.
Brian Thomas.
What?
You see some of Brian Robinson?
Yeah. What do you think?
He's decent.
Trey Lance is, second team I mean, it was interesting to see Trey, though, go 15 of 23, 151, a touchdown, a rushing touchdown, so 2 total touchdowns, 7 carries for 34 yards. It was nice to see Trey Lance do good. You wonder, though, is Jerry Jones absolutely out of his mind? And does he think there's something here, like to avoid Dak? I like Trey. It makes it very, very. It's very nice to see that there's some potential if, let's say, Dak went down for a couple games. But I don't know. I have a feeling, and I reported on this, I think Friday or Thursday, that my spidey senses say that Lamb and Dak are very close to deals, both of them. And keep in mind that Dak is getting paid 50. I'm guessing here. I'm pretty sure it's correct. He's getting paid about $55 million this year, Dak. And so it's no skin off his back to be like, I'm just going to wait to sign my extension, because he'd be getting paid the same amount. Now, obviously, upfront money, guarantees, all that stuff. But he's going to get that next year. So nothing really changes for Dak Prescott in a way. He's getting paid $55-ish million this year, or he signs an extension and gets paid $60 and then gets all of his money, but he's going to get that next year anyway, and it's going to be bigger next year if he waits. So Dak is in the driver's seat. But if they sign him and restructure him and they can give a bunch of money up front, that $50 million goes down, and then they have money and room to sign CeeDee Lamb. So really, CeeDee Lamb is easy to sign if Jerry just decides he wants to keep Dak Prescott. And the buzz is so loud about how much of a priority he should be versus what Jerry's, how he's approaching it. And the fact that he's going to be the hottest commodity in the offseason, I think it's going to wear him down. I think he's going to sign Dak to an extension, and then CeeDee Lamb can get one right after, because there'll be a bunch of freed up money. This is how it should have been all offseason. We should have been coming in here talking about how Dak's going to get his extension and then CeeDee Lamb's going to get his beat off the back of that. But for whatever reason, it all got derailed because Jerry's an absolute wild man, and Jerry wants to do it his way. It's insane. Charles T, how high should T Higgins go? And do you believe Stevenson in the 4th is good? No, Stevenson. God, Charles T, where is this all on Sleeper? You need to get off that platform, bro. If this is what you're seeing, I drafted a team on Sleeper, and Stevenson was nowhere near the 4th round. I don't know where in the hell you got that. And this is not against you, Charles T. I'm not saying this toward you. I'm saying that platform is screwing you. But then again, there might be some unusual values that are great. Like Charles T, where is Achane going? Where's Kyron going? Where is Cooper Kupp going? Where is Debo going? Where is, let's see, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice going? I'd be very curious to know if those guys are going way below where they should be, then never mind, stay on that platform. But Stevenson, I mean, I like him, but he's in round 7 on best ball, which means he's probably a non-best ball around top of 6, maybe late 5 in a wild scenario. But round 4, that's so early. That is so early. Part of me thinks it's your scoring format, though, because it'll suggest it. There's no way Stevenson's going in the 4th round on the regular, right? That's crazy. If that ADP is correct, that's wild. I just want to know if you've got, it's got to move somebody down though, right? If Stevenson goes in the 4th round, who's getting bumped down? There's got to be advantages somewhere. But that's crazy.
Is it mock drafting or actual draft?
I don't know. And it might just be suggested rank or mock drafts off his scoring format. Maybe Stevenson's projected for, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It's crazy. Tried. If Jamar decided not to show up, T is a monster. Don't worry. Jamar Chase is going to show up. He's already there. I mean, like, he showed up and then he's kind of like vanished a little bit, but he showed up. He's holding in essentially. But Jamar Chase is on his 4th year. He's not like some of these other wide receivers that is on his final year of his contract. He's got a 5th-year option that they can pick up next year. Then they can franchise him and then franchise tag him. So there's no guarantee at all whatsoever that Jamar Chase is even remotely going to push this thing to the limit. Whereas CeeDee Lamb looks like he is literally going to kick his feet up, sit back in the lazy boy right next to Ron and eat steak and play Madden the entire season if need be, up until the point where he has to register a calendar year. But yeah, Jamar Chase is not going to play chicken in his 4th year. He's just trying to get paid a year early. Blame it on the Bengals for even having the conversation and then trying to back out of it. I put it on them. I don't blame Jamar Chase. But T. Higgins is definitely... I'm actually liking T. Higgins a lot more than I did. I admit that. Like, I drafted him the other night. I'm like, it's not bad. Like, 5th round or wherever he's fallen, depending on the format. And then Jalen Wright has a chance to be the best cuff. Well, he is on the cuff board, my guy. This cuff board is the key to your cuff board success. Achane, Wright, and Mostert should all be cuffed together. I don't care what anybody else says. That's what I say. And if you disagree with that, that's fine. But this is how I'm approaching it. And anybody that says in a very mundane, very rinse and repeat, very boring Excel sheet Eric fashion, you can't spend 3 spots on one running back? That's never been heard of before in my life. That's never been done. What else has never been done? How about this Miami Dolphin backfield? That's the first time we've seen this before. So 100% right is vital. Absolutely vital, my guy. Appreciate you. Not going to have you on the phone long. Oh, he hung up. It was the guy from Chicago, Nate from Chicago. He's probably calling to think I'm going to say that Caleb looks amazing. It's probably what he thinks. Caleb looked good on that drive. He did. He did. But he also looked terrible on the first 3 drives, and those are the only drives they wanted him to do. But because he looked so bad and the offense looked so bad, there were 3 and out, they ran him back out because they're like, this is going to be a confidence killer. Like, it almost ended badly for Caleb and the Bears in this game. And he did look good. He did look good on that drive. But you take away that scrambling touchdown where no one was open and the line broke down and he's scrambling for his life and everybody keeps like glazing this situation. It's like, oh, look, did you see that throw where he threw while he jumped in the air? Like, he didn't even need to jump. You know, it's kind of like when someone dives for the ball and they don't need to. I know it's all fun and it looks great. Great highlight and everything. It was definitely a dime. That throw was good. He's never lacked the arm talent. But even that scramble, like, you're talking about playing against some backup players, right? It's preseason. And he was scrambling for his life because Shane Waldron and the offense couldn't call plays all game long. And yes, he figured out how to get in the end zone. But that's exactly what Fields did over and over and over again. And he was removed from the equation. They gave up on him. They failed him. This looked exactly like the Fields offense. And we talked about it earlier. This looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers offense tonight. It was like the Bears drives and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It looked identical. Just quarterbacks. Yeah, quarterbacks scrambling for their life. No one open. Line breaking down. Like, it's weird to me that people think that this was such a great performance. Everyone glazing him. The fact that anybody's saying that he's the next Mahomes off this is just so wild. It's so wild. I like what I saw, though. I think that there is some fantasy potential, and we've said that from the beginning, that there is the potential that he does have big fantasy games. But is he going to be given up on like Fields was? Fields had monster fantasy games. That is a totally different topic than will he be the savior? Is he the next Patrick Mahomes? People saying he's the next Patrick Mahomes is just disrespectful. Just flat out disrespectful. But from a fantasy perspective, I'm excited about Odunze. And Keenan Allen, who's supposed to be 211, I guess they say is around 230 right now, or playing like it or something. So Keenan Allen, I don't know. He's probably going to get hurt. He's Ziggy, how old is Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen is 32 years
32
old. He
years.
was born on April 27, 1992.
32 years old. 32 years old. This guy fell apart already. And there's very little, and especially with gained weight, you know how hard it is for a 32-year-old player in the middle of beginning this, you know, transition right into week 1 to lose all that weight. Like, if he is heavier, I don't even know if the reports are true, but he does look sluggish. So he's either slowing down or he did add weight. But Keenan Allen is gonna break. So Odunze is gonna be fantastic. And like I said, Caleb can throw. Caleb's got a good arm. He's got a talented arm. Questionable decisions. Scrambles way too much. Holds onto the ball way too long. And is in an environment that's gonna make him do that even more. So we'll have to see what happens. But he certainly could cook up some good production with Rome Odunze. I don't know how he gained weight. I don't know if it is true. There's reports that he's listed at 211, but he came in at 230, or he looks 230. I don't even know which one's true. But he looks sluggish. Maybe people are saying that he looks like he's 230, but they don't know how much he really weighs. I don't know. That's why I'm prefacing. I don't know the exact details on it. All right. Hey, rock out. Ron Navy, Travis, I'll see you boys later. Appreciate you.
Hey,
right,
Smitty.
Later, everyone. Bye.
Later. What,
Hey,
Ron?
You
Yeah.
haven't done a big dog yet, right? Or a mastiff?
Not yet. Mastiff, no.
We should collab. We should go half, and then you can do like the slow draft, and you can put it on your show.
Yeah, let me look. I guess let me look into that and see what I've got cooked up, because I've got so many best ball manias I got to do too, and we'll figure it out.
The format for the big dog is really good. I've already done one, but it's a good format. It's more money up top than the Mastiff. But there's only 240 people in the Mastiff, where there's 2160 in the big dog.
Alrighty. Ron Navy to the moon.
Have a good night.
Hopefully we get a conclusion to IU. Hopefully we get a conclusion to IU tomorrow or Monday, and we know what's going on. Because I'm so sick and tired.
Who cares, really, at this point?
Well, I care because I'm just waiting to go live on it to finalize it. Because
Well, everybody though, and all these other people though, they want to be like the first one to break.
Yeah.
So there's so many crap stories out there. Headlines about IU. And the sorry part about it is these people, it's clickbait. They put headlines in like they know what to just get people to listen to them about stuff that there's no updates at all. There's no update, but they clickbait it so you watch it. It's bad form.
Yeah, there's no little tiny Steeler podcast. No show even like mine is getting a phone call or a lead or a tip that Adam Schefter, Rappaport, Pat McAfee, Trey Wingo, or somebody isn't going to get before us. It's ridiculous. I've done this for 23 plus years, and only once did I ever have something before anybody else. And no one even, and when it happened, it was in 2007 or 8. I think it was 2007. It was Michael Turner getting traded to the Tennessee Titans, and then they missed the deadline. But I had it first because I knew somebody that was super connected, and back then 2007, I want to say I put it on YouTube, but it wasn't. There's no live streaming or anything, so I created a 2-minute quick hit. It was like, Michael Turner's been traded to the Tennessee Titans, and then they missed the deadline, and so he didn't get traded. And so they had to wait. Then he got traded to Atlanta the next year, and I had to wait a whole year on Michael Turner, who was a big, bold prediction of mine. All right. I'll see you later on.
Yeah. I think if IU were to get traded to Pittsburgh, I think that would bring his. I think his ADP would drop because anybody watching the Pittsburgh offense right now wouldn't have any confidence that he's going to do anything good on Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right, Ron. I'll see you later. Appreciate you.
Later, chat.
Deuces. It's sleeper mock drafts. Kupp, London, and Waddle Walker going in the third. Worthy bottom of 5. I just don't. There's got to be something's got to give though, Charles. I don't have the time to look into it, but I'm wondering what players totally out of place. There's you pull everybody up, someone grips of people are falling, but some of those values are crazy, bro. That's why on sleeper and non-best ball, I'm going running back more than anything because I don't want to deal with the reaching. It's like the reverse of the wide receiver reaching in best ball. In some of these formats, non-best ball, people are reaching for RBs in the third round that shouldn't be there. So give me the RB. Give me the Achane and Bijan. Give me the Gibbs and Achane. Give me the Barkley and Kyron. Give me the Kyron and Achane in round 1 and 2. And then when everybody goes running back shopping in 3 and 4, you're driving against traffic, picking off these great wide receiver values and Mahomes and Josh Allen. All right, thank you, Charles T. Charles T dropping some wads tonight. Charles T. Justin, Charles T. Justin dropping another one. A Banto, Charles T. A Banto. Ron Navy with the 50 gifted, then the 20. Dylan with the super chat. Andrew, appreciate Andrew. Rock out. Michael, rock out. Michael, J. Thomas, RDB, Young, rock out again. Rock out was a monster tonight. Garrett, Riley, Matt J. Got rock out was dropping wads. Matt J, appreciate you. First super chat of the night. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you all later. Go Mahomey. Go Worthy. Go Rashee Rice. Go Pacheco. Go Kelsey. Go Patrick Mahomes and the KC Chiefs, baby. It's KC season, baby.
Xavier Worthy speedster wide receiver from the combine.
He can't catch.
Catch this.
Many say he won't make it at the next level.
Enough. Watch me. I must go back and make it right.
Xavier Worthy.
He can't catch. Just fast. He won't make it.
Catch this. Great catch. Wow, nice catch. He's not overrated catching the ball.
He can really catch.
It's Chiefs season. Mahomes is scoring 45 plus touchdowns. Let them cook.
One Tigdale special, please. Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm a Cardinal, hey, I'm a Cardinal. 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 The Cardinals look to be rising, and MHJ is your king. I'm a Cardinal.
Don't forget, we got all these new emojis. Check them out. We refreshed a few. Oh, we also got this one right here. Look at that one right there. Little itty bitty Cooper Kupp. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Additionally, live whenever big news breaks. Additionally, live most midnights to draft and whatnot. Ron Navy with the 50 gifted memberships. Thank you, Ron. Celebratory messages. I don't think we had any tonight, but gifted memberships. We did have Ron dropping a, I want to say Ron dropped the 50. Ron dropped the was it 20? Ron dropped the 20. He dropped the 50. Ron dropped the 50 and a 20, and then gifted memberships. Maybe we celebratory messages. Maybe we did have. No, we didn't. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Deuces.